Hey guys, what's going on? Genuine Sim here, ready for a little flight from San Juan area to Cyril E. King, TIST. We're going to take the wonderful Cessna Grand Caravan here, the C208. We've got a fancy livery. It looks pretty exciting. I already went through the startup process here and loaded a flight plan that I created using Little Navmap. If you're not familiar with Little Navmap, it's a pretty cool project created by Alex. I forget his last name, but excellent, excellent tool there. So let's go ahead and hop back in here. We're going to take a look at our MFD and make sure that the flight plan has fully loaded here. Sometimes the custom waypoints don't exactly go in there. Oh, it looks like they have. Excellent, excellent. Well then, I say that we start flying this bird here. Let's go ahead and tune in our communication to 122.8. We're going to use the VATSIM Unicom because we're on the VATSIM network. Alright. 122.8 in the standby. Now it's in the box. And we can start announcing our traffic. Stand by while I try to adjust this camera here. It's got kind of a green tint to it. I prefer not to have a green tint like that. There we go. That's much better. A little increase on the gamma there. Yeah, the white balance. Oof. Ooh, let's turn down the gamma and do some white balance. Okay, we'll turn that back to auto then, and bring our gamma back up. Alright, I mean, it's still kind of green. Alright, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. That looks a little more natural. It's not 100%, but you know what? It is what it is. I'll take it. I'll buy that for $1. Alright, so we've got our Caravan started here. We're going to cruise at 5,500. So we're going to switch our Bravo into altitude mode. Check out our PFD here while we're bringing up our altitude there on the right, just by turning this little dial here on the Bravo. We are filed VFR, so that's not a problem here. We're going to change our barometer. I don't have the barometer currently here, but we're at least going to bring it up to 0. Alright, so it's looking like 2995. I believe we have a secondary barometer here. That's pretty darn close right there. It's not one of the digital ones, but that'll do in a pinch. Alright, so we've got that set. We're going to go ahead and set ourselves a vertical speed here real quick. Look back at the PFD. Let's see, the Caravan could probably do... Shoot, I bet the Caravan can do 1,000 feet per minute. And nav, we're going to set our CDI here to GPS. And nav-wise, pretty sure we're just going to fly runway heading for a second and then engage that. Let's go ahead and turn on our strobe, our taxi, and our nav lights. And our transponder, we're going to make sure that we are squawking altitude mode. And we're VFR, so we're just going to put in 1200 in the box. Altitude mode, also commonly referred to as mode Charlie. Everything looks like it's pretty good here in the cockpit. We're going to turn on our flight director. That way, once we do enable our autopilot, she'll know what she's doing. Alright, so let's get this guy in the tug to give us a little push back here. In the process, hope he doesn't get chopped up by the prop. In case anybody's curious, that's actually what I do in real life, is I move airplanes around and put fuel in them. So a little bit about this flight plan. It was actually suggested to me by one of our customers at our FBO. He said that he had flown this in real life a few times and found it to be very exciting. So we're going to take a look and see exactly how awesome it is. Based on the route, I can only imagine that it's pretty darn cool. I'm going to go ahead and turn on flight events here. Flight events is how I connect the simulator to ForeFlight. This is what flight events looks like when it's in operation here. We got Tiger 01 on our call sign. It's connected to the simulator, connected to the server. I'm going to click Start Flight Tracking. And clicking Start Flight Tracking and minimizing that then puts me in ForeFlight. Basically, it convinces ForeFlight that I'm in a real airplane. And it now shows me at... Oh, I'm pushing back too far here. Shows me at the airport here, and I'm able to see myself in action. We've already got all this stuff pretty much mapped out here the same way that it would have been through little nav maps. There's no way to get the flight sim flight plan talking to ForeFlight, but I believe it's roughly where it should be here. Alright, so our rampy's getting his distance, and we're about to start going. Guys, I want to say thank you for watching here on this lovely Tuesday evening. And it's looking like we're going to take a right and do a 180. See, we've got a couple of viewers. I just want to say, anybody that wants to join, I use the East USA server. And right now we are taking off from TIJG, I believe, is the identifier. Let's take, yep, TJIG, Tango Juliet India Golf. In case anybody wants to come on and join us. Tango Juliet India Golf. One thing I have to say is that the brainiacs at Microsoft have removed the engine condition lever from the mixture axis. So now on my fancy yoke that I have, or throttle quadrant that I have here, I'm unable to control the condition. The condition setting used to talk to the mixture axis, but it does no longer. And myself, as well as many other people in the community, are very upset about that. I was wondering, because in the King Air I was having the same issue where I was not able to control the condition of the King Air props. So it still talks to the piston aircraft just fine, but when it comes to the turboprops, it does not talk the same way as it used to. And Microsoft, I'm sure you're not watching, I'm just a nobody here, but you know, if you get a chance, please, dear God, fix the condition lever. I want to be able to use it on my Bravo. Guys, if you haven't already, click that follow button. I don't really care for subscribers, but followers, that's always cool. Interesting fact, I see a cruise ship up here on the right. I spent 3 days in the port of San Juan while divers from Miami had to cut a steel cable off of our propeller on the ship because of the 3 propellers, one of them had the steel cable wrapped around it, and it actually had welded itself onto the propeller shaft. So the divers removed the propeller from that drive of the ship, and then we sailed on 2 motors instead of 3 to Freeport, Bahamas, which is where we were able to begin the dry dock process there. That was called Project Atlantis. Uh, Fun little code word there. Alright, so we're just about coming up to the runway threshold. This runway is going to put us approximately in the direction that we need to be going here. We're going to put the parking brake on. We're going to do our lights, camera, action check. So lights, we're going to turn off our taxi, turn on our landing light for takeoff. There is no gear switch in here, but we do our C-gums, right? So our carb heat, our gear, our undercarriage, our mixture, our prop, our switches, the C-gums. And then we would do lights, camera, action. Camera, we are going to check our transponder here, make sure that we are squawking 1200 on altitude mode. So lights, camera, check. Action, ladies and gentlemen, put your seatbelts on, tray tables and seat backs in their upright and locked positions. Prepare for takeoff. That's the action portion. Lights, camera, action. We've already got our autopilot preset here, and away we go. Parking brake is off. Now, as much as I love hand flying airplanes, I've also gotten very passionate about programming and knowing the systems. Alright, so we're going to go full power here, full prop. Our heels are to the floor. A little bit of right rudder there, not a whole lot. Our flaps are off. We don't really need flaps right now on this airplane. It's going to want to go. Alright, we're at our rotate speed here for this particular aircraft. We've got positive rate, so our landing lights are going to go off. We're going to start trimming the nose up just a little bit by spinning this wheel here. And I'm going to enable the autopilot in heading mode. We're going to reduce our RPM a good bit here. I see we've got our ITT light coming on here, and we're going to go into nav mode. Oh, looks like we're passing that waypoint already. Oof. It's going to stress to reach that waypoint. So, my buddy that I was talking to here, he said that we were supposed to fly right through those two buildings over that inlet. And this is what he called the river transition. When you're departing this airport, you take the river transition, you're immediately talking to San Juan. Like the handoff is instantaneous. He says once you get off the ground, they hand you off to San Juan. Speaking of which, let's make a radio call. San Juan traffic, Tiger 01 is 900 for 5500 on the river transition, San Juan. So we can probably give it a little more oomph right now. Let's come on back in here and let's find our proper power settings. So this is all looking pretty good here. Everything's in the green. And we can hear the dogs having a grand old time. He also mentioned that once we get over here to basically the midfield point when we are, hi 747. Once we get over here to the midfield point when we are abeam the tower, we basically overfly the tower midfield, which I thought was pretty interesting. So we're about to make that right turn here per the programmed flight plan. Three, 2, 1. My timing's off a little bit. When's it gonna do it? There it goes. Okay. Yep. Oh, well, what do you know? That was almost right on my flight position here. So this is what the flight looks like. In case anybody was wondering, it is the standard in aviation as far as pilot applications are concerned. Pretty textbook. as we're going over the Luis Munoz Marin International Airport here in San Juan. This is the major San Juan airport. We took off out of the GA airport, the kind of San Juan executive. And we should get up to our cruise altitude here pretty quickly. It's not too high of an altitude, but at the same time, we're not going very far. We don't need to get up to 12,000 feet when we're only going, 50 miles. And little briefing regarding our next airport. I believe you said there was a lizard problem or some kind of a iguana. That's what he said. He said that TJCP, that's Tango Juliet Charlie Papa, Benjamin Rivera Noriega Airport, has massive iguanas that like to just hang out on the runway and sun themselves on the warm tarmac. Which kind of makes sense for a cold-blooded animal, but he said the airport ops guys have to go out there and just remove the iguanas on a regular basis. They like chase them away with a stick, which I thought was pretty neat. The only thing that can get in the way of an airplane is wildlife. Alright, so that point was also pretty close there, based on what I had entered into ForeFlight after we had that talk. So here we're going to follow the coastline. We're going to kind of like see this little point that comes off the tip of Puerto Rico. And from there we will go to Noriega. Isla de Culibre, which is also a Puerto Rico territory. TJCP, Tango Juliet Charlie Papa. And my guess is that we'll get there pretty quick as soon as we hit our cruise. We can add a little bit of oomph to this girl here. Still just kind of playing with the power, fiddling with it, making sure that we don't go totally in the red there. So we want to make sure that we can have as much torque as we can without our ITT getting in the red. Oh, yep, see there, we're torque's in the red. Okay. And let's see here. We are picking up speed as we're starting to level out. And let's see what we got to do with the prop here to get our speed right up there. All right. So we're looking good on our speed increase. Our NG is at 100%. We're still in the green on a lot of things. We're cruising at about $1.60. That's pretty reasonable. I'll take that. While we've got the chance here, I'll stop and say hello. I think we've got one viewer watching. Say hello there in the chat. Alright, oh, we got another TV viewer. It's good to see another TV viewer back in the space here. Def B, Def Bravo, what's going on? Ice Wizards, what up? Appreciate all y'all being here. Like I said, you can or cannot click that follow, whatever you choose to do, it's okay. I'm not going to hate on anybody. We're just having fun flying around in the Cessna Grand Caravan here over Puerto Rico. We just departed San Juan there. Oh, look at those mountains. Our final destination is TIST. Sierra Lee King over here, and I believe it's St. Thomas. Yep. And these are all pretty fun airports from what I hear. I'm curious. I'm going to change my layers here on ForeFlight. See exactly what comes up. IFR low. Does not show me very many waypoints. IFR ocean. Not showing me very many waypoints. IFR planning. Ah, here we go. Caribbean. There's the map. It's the Caribbean map. But it doesn't seem like the low has all the stuff I'm looking for. The high... I don't know. I don't know how I feel about any of this. Dun dun dun. Buddy, we're going to put you back there. You're going to get me in trouble. Alright. So we're rocking and rolling on our way here. Just about to come up over this little peninsula, which is referred to as Blackwater Lagoon. Tonight I am enjoying a rum and coke. Since we're in the Caribbean, why not? Just a note to anybody that's watching, do not drink and fly. It's even worse than drinking and driving. If you're going to enjoy a beverage, be at home on your simulator or at home watching television. Just be at home or be stationary wherever you're doing it. Also, anybody that's watching this stream, current time, 9:45 p.m. Eastern, on Tuesday evening, the 9th. Tomorrow, Wednesday the 10th, at 11 a.m., we will begin a flight on the genuinesim.com Discord. You can visit genuinesim.com, join the Discord that way. But it's a group flight. It's collaborative with Oh It's Laz from the Foulmouth TV network. Laz is a really cool guy. He likes to party. He's also one of the best scam baiters in the business. If you're not familiar with scam baiting, basically he scams the scammers, wastes their time and energy, you know, because they're bad people. And if you're gonna cause somebody to have a bad day, why not make sure it's a bad person, right? And the world goes on. Look at these beautiful little archipelagos. I love it. Oh, you can even see a little boat down there. But yeah, tomorrow, visit genuinesim.com, Wednesday the 10th, 11 a.m. The flight plans are on the Discord. You can also go to ohitslaz.com. That's OHITSLAZ, as in Zulu.com. and you can find his stream there as well. We'll be co-streaming, not necessarily combining streams. We're not going to cross the streams, but we are going to enjoy ourselves and see if we can't get a bunch of people to fly. So I can already see our destination coming up there. San Juan traffic, Tiger 01, 5,500 off the east side of the island, halfway to Noriega, San Juan. So off the bat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my target altitude down to, he basically said scud running. So we'll go to, oh, there you go. Let's get our figures back up here. We're going to start at 1,500. I'm going to go ahead and reduce our power here. Normally we change our pitch first, but we're at such a high speed, we want to reduce our speed before we begin a descent. So I think that's pretty good here. So we're going to bring our power down, put our props to max RPM. There we go, down to about 1,500 feet per minute. This aircraft has such an incredible glide ratio that it really doesn't have to have power at 1,500 foot a minute descent. And with the prop at the angle that it is, it's almost flat. It's acting kind of like a brake. Versus if you feather it, where they're at the maximum angle so that the air can cut through, putting them at high RPM allows them to act more like a brake. Let's click on the button again here, see who's in the chat right now. Still another TV viewer, Def B, Ice Wizards. I feel like I get a lot of bots in this stream, but you know what? It's whatever. And it confuses me too, because in the analytics, I think I'm getting a higher stat, but I'm not. It doesn't count these bots. But I don't know what a Twitch bot looks like. I have no idea. Now let's go ahead and change our target altitude here all the way down to, say 500. He said basically 500, so let's do that. I think it's going to be a beautiful approach. So we'll ride that ridge that's up there on the right, just to the east of it, and then make a slight left in. Should put us on an approach to this field. The water should start looking really good about this altitude. The rendering starts to have a much greater effect around 500 to 1,500 feet. So we're going to get some good graphics here coming up. And while we're thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and change our prop angle here, add some RPM, get us back up into a, we're going to stay in a flaps range. We're going to try to stay inside of that white arc. Once this descent arrests itself at 500 feet. You should see that speed come back into the white arc. I gotta say, something that threw me off, I had a flight here with my instructor in Florida, and I haven't had a whole lot of flight experience in Florida. I'm used to like high density altitude where the air is a lot thinner. I'll tell you that he went from 0 flaps to full flaps like that in the Piper that I was training in, and it literally, I felt the airplane like slow down right away. It was, I was like, whoa, I've never seen somebody just go to full flap like that. Usually we would gradually like put it in, you know. I thought it was funny. It made me smile. PA-28s, man. I'm a PA-28 fan. Got a little vintage t-shirt from the PA-28s. Okay, so we are inside of the white arc here. We're going to keep the flaps out for right now. And we won't disable the autopilot. We're going to see if the autopilot is programmed well enough to follow this road. He said there's a road that we got to do.
500.
There's our 500 warning on ForeFlight. So let's come on back in here and pull out so we can see everything that's happening. One of the greatest competitors for the Cessna Caravan at the moment is called the Kodiak. I believe it's made by Aviat. Absolutely beautiful looking airplane here. So yep, there we go. We're turning right. We're going to cut through that little valley over this lagoon. And this is all stuff that he told me verbally, so I'm only basing this on what I was told there. I kind of was putting the waypoints in ForeFlight as he was talking. So if you're watching, this might look familiar. A little complex down there, some hillside buildings. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring the power down a little more. Let's put in that first notch of flaps. Alright, we're going to turn off the autopilot here. I feel like we're coming up on this field. Yep, there it is right there. Alright, whoa! Well, super sensitive here. Full flaps. Full RPM here. And we're going to slip it. He said slip, slip, slip. Slip, 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 slip. Full left rudder, right aileron. Alright. Alright, let's take some of that rudder out. Alright, still taking some of that rudder out. Ooh, 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 that's a little tricky. I did not expect this field to sneak up on me like that. Yep, I want to hear that stall horn. That's what I want to hear. Come on. Come on. Alright, we're going to go around. Oh, full flaps. Oh, no. Oh. I came in hot on that one. Dun, 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 dun. Alright. Let's restart real quick, and we're going to slew over there because I have got to do this. That was such a beautiful approach in there. I'm frustrated. That frustrates me. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. Okay. I'm going to put that fuel condition on. That valve's open. And this is the startup procedure for the Caravan. Fuel valves on, fuel selectors. Batteries are on.
System test.
We got our TAWS going on here, our CDI. Switching it to GPS here. And you know what? We're just going to do a sim rate thing. So we're still going to set our target altitude. Oh, why does it say 10,000? That's weird. So we're going to set our target altitude here to something a little more reasonable. Yeah, 2,500. I can dig that. Put a vertical speed in. 1,000. Alright, gang. Let's go ahead and crank this puppy up here. Prop at max RPM. Throttle. Idle. Fuel pump. We're going to boost it for a second here. Ignition on. Starter on. I'm going to put that fuel pump back to normal here. Typically I'd yell clear prop, but I'm in a hurry. I'm going to make sure I can slip this airplane in. I didn't slip it very well either. That was a terrible slip. Transponder. Altitude reporting, VFR. Barometer. Okay. Make sure that that starter is back in normal. We're off. Because we do have power now. Alright guys. We're going to do this right. Cycle the parking brake. Just going to make a left turn. Sorry, Tug. You don't get us today. We're going to put our flaps on the first notch here. We're just going to get the hell out of here. We're going to do an intersection takeoff.
Approaching runway 0927. Entered runway 0927.
Alright, for flight. Oh, way off center. Airspeed's alive. Rotate for this aircraft's about 80 knots. Got our flaps in the first notch so we can get away with just a little sooner. Alright. We got positive rate. Nav strobes on, landing lights off. Flaps are off. We're going to put on that nav mode here on the autopilot. It was a pretty sick little get out of town there. Alright, so we're going to do sim rate, which I believe is shift R plus plus plus. So we're just going to make a note that we did that 3 times, right? We're still on a climb, yada yada yada. That Delta just went zooming past. Doing the overfield. Here's our left turn. And if you have any questions on how to do sim rate, let me know. It's kind of a cheat, but whatever. It's whatevs. Doing a good clip here at 150 knots. Let's see if any of our gauges are in the red. Nope, everything's good. Gonna get back over there because I want to do this approach and nail it. I want to nail this landing. Definitely did not expect the runway to be right over that little saddle. that was a trip. Okay, back to where we are here. Just a note, kids, don't try this at home. Definitely can't land with a sim rate enabled. It's a great cruise feature, but not good for control input. In fact, it freaks the autopilot out at high altitudes. It freaks it out. I've had planes jump up and down 10,000 feet because of the sim rate. The way it reads the weather and the turbulence, it just doesn't play right. Okay, so here we go again. Shift R minus minus minus, back to normal. We did it 3 times forward, 3 times back. And we're going to change our target altitude now down to 500. We're going to put our vertical speed mode. I feel like 1,000 feet a minute is pretty reasonable. Looks like we're at about 1,200. Whatever. Bottom line is, I need to be able to do this the right way. So we're going to go low power here, full RPM. What's your deal? These dogs, I'll tell you, they're a trip. Been learning the A320 lately, the fly-by-wire model, and it is very particular in the startup flow. Very particular. But I feel like now if I can start up an Airbus, this is doing anything GA is pretty rudimentary. Okay, so we're approaching our target altitude here. We're going to throw a little more power in. But we're also going to put the flaps at the first notch while we're inside of the wide arc. And we're going to let the autopilot do most of this trimming. We got Sarina watching. What's going on? Still another TV viewer, Def B, Ice Wizard, shout out. What's up, what's up? Guys, feel free to say hi in the chat. And we're coming up to Noriega.
500.
There's our 500 warning through the flight here. And we're going to do it right this time. Let's hop back in the cockpit. Come back out here and see if we can't get our bearings a little better here. We're at a good trim. We're at a good airspeed for this aircraft. Says hi, Chip, Polly Breezy. What's going on? This person knows my first name. Oh, I know who that is. No way. How's things in Miami, bro? I think this is who I'm talking about. Paula? I think it's Paula. What up? Yeah, so this is a flight that one of my customers told me about that he had done in real life a few times. We're going to turn off the autopilot. We're going to reduce our power here. We're still at full RPM on the flaps, or on the prop. The field sneaks right up on you after this hill. Haha, yes. I hope y'all are good. I miss y'all in Milana. I hope everything's good down there in Miami. All good in the hood. That's what's up. Alright, so we are close to the terrain here. Oof. Ooh, wow. Alright. Slipping it in. Giving it some right rudder, left aileron this time. Yeah, right rudder, left aileron seems to be doing the trick. Alright, we're going to let her even out here. Oh gosh, zero power. This happened last time. Alright, so we're just going to plan it. Let's plan it. Flaps up. One of the mistakes I just made there, I did not have full flaps in that configuration. I was only using the first notch. Big mistake, shouldn't have done that. But we made it. That was rough. Alright. I feel accomplished. I feel like now we can continue on the next leg of the flight to St. Thomas. This will be a much more chill experience. Miami, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure he hears Tyson. Tyson and Sparky are going at it like wild animals, literally. Quite literally. They could use some more socializing. I hope Kobe's good. Alright, so we are, I think we're going to take the full runway for the takeoff here. We're going to put the flaps in the first notch, though. Everything is cool up here in Daytona Beach. That's my hometown. The airport's been busy. We've had a lot of crosswind days. We only have one crosswind runway. So it gets to be a little crazy when commercial traffic and the students have to use the one runway. It's much better when the winds are in the dominant period where there are two runways to use. Fly down soon. That might actually be happening within the next 6 months. I think I might be able to finish my stuff. The weather is nice and cool, actually. I'm very happy with the ambient temperatures. Like compared to Denver, oh man, I was ripping my hair out. But knowing that it will be 50 degrees here without ice on the ground is very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and set ourselves a higher target altitude. We're going to line up and then start working the system. Okay. Altitude select. Let's go ahead and select 2,500. Put a vertical speed mode in. 1,000 feet. We've got our nav enabled. Alright, so we're at full prop, full power. Feet to the floor. So when you're taxiing, you have your feet all the way up on the pedals. But when you start to take off and you're flying, you put your heels on the floor. That way your toes are pushing the rudder. Alright, taking a little right rudder here. Alright, there's our rotate. We're going to engage our autopilot and we're going to start working the power. Everything's looking pretty good in the power settings there. We can take out our first notch of flaps. We have positive rate. Have a good night, you guys. Give my love to everybody. Good to hear from you, Paula. Okay, it's looking like we're on our way to St. Thomas. And Buddy was not kidding when he said that that was a difficult runway. That is a very difficult runway. Back to the rum. Alright. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Let's see who we got here. Another TV viewer. I think it's a bot. I think another TV viewer is the OBS username. Def B, Ice Wizards, Polybreezy, Saralina. Let's see what this actually says. Oh yeah. What's going on? I'm gonna add you just because. I think it's interesting that you can add people as friends here. Dun dun dun. Ice Wizard's been around for a while. Look at that. Let's see, Def B. Oh, Def B's got a Freemason logo. That's what's up. I love it, dude. Shout out to the Masons. Oh yeah, see, another TV viewer's got to be a bot because it won't let me add him as a friend. It's got to be a bot. All right, so we're gonna come up here on Serial King pretty quick. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, we are only a handful of minutes away from Texas-made perp up there. That's a funny username. I like that. But we are gonna be coming into Serial King here pretty quick. We're gonna go ahead and start our descent. I'm gonna say this is top of descent right here. We're gonna go on down to 500 again. We're gonna go ahead and reduce our power. Put it in a vertical speed mode. I think 500 feet per minute should do it. It's looking about that. And you know what? I was just thinking we might have had a tailwind on that last. There might be a tailwind in effect that I'm not taking into account. But this is a fun route, man. I'm very glad that I heard about this route. It's really not very long, and it's a butthole clincher. It'll pucker your butthole. All right, so we're just gonna let that go. We're gonna focus on the field ahead. By the way, the stream is now not PG, so I can say anything. I'm not a sailor anymore, so I'm trying to like quell the sailor inside me. You know what I mean? Oh, it's whatever. You say, "Holy shit!" Both the dogs just stopped and looked at me. They're like, "What?" The dogs have never heard me talk like a sailor. That's funny. Uh, so recently Twitch changed some of their parameters where you don't get an email every time somebody goes live, which is funny because I still get an email when certain people go live, so it's like kind of partisan politics. But let's take a look outside of the airplane real quick. Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The rendering, the water side rendering has really gotten better. It wasn't so great in the beginning, but the photogrammetry it's really come a long way. Hats off to the developers. Just please fix the condition levers. Please attach the condition levers back to the mixture axis. If there's one thing I can ask for, if I want one thing this Christmas, look at that threshold right there. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to disable the autopilot. And we're going to go ahead and put ourselves into a more serious landing configuration here. We're going to reduce our power. We're going to pitch up, pitch, power, trim. Alright, props at full. And we're still pitching. Flaps are going to help our pitch. Flaps are going to help keep that nose up. Alright, let's go ahead and keep trimming that wheel. Still have to give some back pressure here, so I'm going to keep trimming that wheel. Keep on trimming, keep on trimming. It shouldn't take that much, but this wheel isn't real life. It doesn't work like it does in real life. It takes so much roll. So we'll throw a little bit of power back in there. We're going to still try to stay on center as best we can. Ooh, too much power. Wow. Just a little bit of power application made a big difference. This is the mountain he was saying gets that mountain wave action right there off of the water. Incredible stuff. Really is. So I'm going to give it some nose down. I want to keep a little bit of power in the turboprop because we want it to be somewhat spooled in case we need to do a go around. Obviously our first go around did not go well. But it's looking pretty good right now. I can't see over the dash here, and that drives me nuts. But I've gotten pretty good about, you know, just landing like this. Okay, I went ahead and reduced the power here. I feel like we've made the runway at this point. And I'm going to give it some more nose up trim. I'm just going to try to keep this rate of descent here. I feel like it's pretty good. He said that he aims for the 1,000-foot marks. Doesn't care if he goes long. Not feeling a whole lot of wind shear right now. The winds might be calmer than typical, even though we have the live weather on. I'd like to find a way to manually input that stuff. Okay. Still adding that back pressure. Oh, there's a bounce. Okay. I think it's easy to bounce this airplane because of how much lift it produces. We can go ahead and clean it up here. Flaps to 0. I look like I'm drunk on the runway. Well, there's our approach plate coming up. Well, Texas-made perp is in a beach. Is that what that was? Is he just not logging off? Oh. Yep, he must be. Oh no, there he is. He's still there. I found you, Texas-made perp. Alright. Let's do this real quick. I'm going to show you guys how we add friends here in Flight Simulator because there's really not a whole lot regarding that. What is this? What is this button? Local players, Texas-made perp. Oh, look at that. They built it in. View profile. What does this do? Add friend. Okay. Oh, so now I can... Okay. Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Do Island Fly too. That seems like a pretty cool name there. Add friend. Yeah, sure, why not? See, I can't tell if these are... I guess they're all Xbox users at this point. What they've done is they figured out how to merge the Steam users and the Xbox users. Okay. And honestly, I think that's gonna do it here. It looks like we've got an A320 on approach. Let's go ahead and watch this. No, that's a departure. Oh, there's somebody on approach somewhere. Huh. Well, I really don't know what to make of all that. They must be going to Noriega right now. Either way, guys, thanks for watching. It's been a great time. This is a great route. Uh, I'm going to give you the route information one more time. The airports are TJIG, Tango Juliet India Golf, TJCP, Tango Juliet Charlie Papa, and the final airport here is St. Thomas, Tango India Sierra Tango. Thanks again for watching Genuine Sim, everybody. It's been a great evening. I hope you all enjoyed it. It's time for me to finish my drink and have a good night. See ya!